Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. I made a video a couple weeks ago talking about how you need to just go ahead and start a dumb business because if you wait around for $1 trillion idea, you're never going to start a business at all. And I kind of wanted to follow that up because I was thinking while I was filming some other videos about how many people are out there buying and selling cards, buying and selling sealed product, and aren't doing it as a business. And there's a lot of detriment if you're into that kind of hobby, but you don't have yourself established as a business. And the biggest thing that you're missing out on is you're paying sales tax when you buy a product, and that's increasing your basis costs. And then when you sell them, you're remitting sales tax again through the marketplace you're selling through. They're doing it for you. And so you're kind of double paying on that sales tax, and you shouldn't be. Um, and so I thought I would just kind of put together a rundown of what you need to do to get yourself registered as a business in your state. Um, the first thing you've got to do is you go to your state's Secretary of State website and you register for an account. You just probably use your personal email address for that account. And then you're going to have to find a business name. And of course, I chose something really kind of vague and meaningless, not something that has MTG in the name because you may not always like Magic. And so, just make something kind of generic sounding. So I know on the Texas website, you had to pay $1 for every name search to see if the name was taken because it has to be a unique business name within your state. I bet that dollar charge is to prevent some kind of data mining. I don't know. And so then when you find a name that they say is available, you fill out the online form, you pay a fee, and in Texas it was like $300, and then there was another like 2.5% processing fee for some reason. So altogether, it came out to about $310 to register an LLC in Texas. LLC is probably the business structure you want to do. You can go search for different business structures available in your state, and your Secretary of State website will have information for that to help you. So it'll take several days to get approval or rejection if the name is still taken somehow. Um, and if so, just register again. You'll get your money back or you'll get a credit or something. But like I said, about $300 in Texas to do that. So then you'll want an email address. I just took one from Gmail because who cares? You don't need a professional email address because you're just buying and selling cards as a side business. Sometime after you register with the Secretary of State, he'll not only send you your business certificate, which is just a piece of paper that says, yeah, you're a real business and here's some identification numbers, things like that. But they'll narc on you to the state comptroller, which is the guy who wants to get paid for tax money. And so he'll send you a letter in the mail and he'll basically say, be warned, if you're doing business, you've got to pay taxes. And, it's just, well, duh, and what we're really doing here is we're setting this up as a business so we can get out of paying taxes. And so don't worry about that. The next thing you'll need to do is get an employee identification number from the IRS. Again, that's not a big deal. The fact is you will have 0 employees because it's just you and you are the manager and the person running your business, but you are not really an employee because you're not going to take a salary. You're not going to have payroll to pay yourself. You're just doing this as a side business. So you'll have to go to the IRS's website. The unbelievable thing about it is the IRS shuts down that website for issuing EIN numbers on the weekends. It's a completely automated website, but it shuts down on the weekends. So you'll have to come on a weekday. You go through their online form. You submit it. They'll probably reject you. You'll get a cryptic rejection notice, and it'll say you have to call to resolve this. Then their calling line will be down, and it took me about a week to get an EIN number. It's unbelievably painful working with IRS. And so eventually what the operator told me was, well, it doesn't like the name of your business because there's someone else somewhere in the country with the name of your business. And he said what you can do is, you're an LLC, say that you're Joe Blow Cards LLC, or you're L space C, or L period space C, or, basically just finagle with it until you get something that's not taken. And you'll get an EIN number. It's ridiculous because, again, you won't have employees, but you have to have an EIN number because the banks won't deal with you unless you have one. So the next thing you do, Once you have an EIN number, you can go to your state comptroller and you can file for a sales and use tax permit. And that's this official looking piece of paper. You've probably seen them in local businesses that you go into in a little frame on the wall. And it basically says you are allowed to collect and remit sales tax for the state. And you are a real business in the eyes of the comptroller now, in addition to the eyes of the Secretary of State. And so you'll have this, and it's what will let distributors and other dealers know, hey, you're not just some guy buying this for personal use. It's for business. It's for resale. And that'll take about 2 or 3 weeks to get that issued once you apply for it. In the meantime, while you're waiting for that to get issued, you can go to your places like TCG Player, Card Market, Channel Fireball, eBay, those kind of places, and you can at least start registering accounts with your business, get those all set up, link them to your emails, get all your passwords set up, all that overhead stuff. And once you get your sales and use tax permit back from the state, then you can fill out a sales and use tax resale certificate for each of those dealers. And what this is it's a piece of paper you'll send to them along with a photocopy of your permit. And it basically says, look, let's say you're doing one for TCG Player. It says, look, TCG Player, I'm swearing that I'm a legitimate dealer. I'm a guy who buys and sells cards, and you do not need to charge me sales tax. Because when I sell to the end user, I will collect and remit sales tax to the state. And so when I buy from you, TCG Player, it is a sales tax-free transaction. And basically, TCG Player or anyone else, this isn't picking on them, but none of these people really care what you're doing. They don't care if you're engaged in straight-out fraud. They just want a paper trail so that one day, if things blow up and the Texas State Comptroller comes saying, hey, where's my money? TCG Player can say, look, he swore to us that he was in a legitimate business, and so we sold to him sales tax free. And so that's all that's about. It's not a big deal. It's not like TCG Player or eBay or Card Market or Channel Fireball are going to say, oh no, we won't deal with you because you're a small guy. I mean, with the first three, not with Card Market, I have dealer accounts with them so I can buy sales tax free. And it's really not a big deal. Don't feel a lot of anxiety about getting it set up. So one warning, though, is all those businesses are just kind of slow on processing the paperwork. Just, search their website, find their process. They'll have a help page on what you need to submit to them. Send it in and just wait. It can take weeks. For TCG Player, it took like 6 weeks to get them to basically change one bit on my account that says, hey, refund this guy's sales tax every month. Okay, so again, while all of that's in work, while you're waiting for those accounts to get set up and you already have your sales and use tax permit, then you go to a bank, you get a business banking account and a business credit card. And you're really going to want to look for a bank account and a credit card that at your level of sales you expect to have and the kind of money that you think you're going to put into this will give you a free checking account and a free business credit card. And it's my opinion, I didn't want to have it at the same bank that I do my personal banking at because I just wanted to create a separation there for any type of accusation of commingling of funds or anything, just to kind of create a firewall. Do what you like. And so the bank is going to want to see you have an EIN number. You have a certificate from the Secretary of State saying you're a real business. You have a sales and tax permit. And so they're going to want to see all those things before they give you a business account. And the worst part about this is you'll go in, you'll spend 2.5 hours giving them every piece of personal information you've ever had. And at the end of it, you write them a check for whatever seed money you want to put in your business checking account. And they put it on a 2-week hold because they think you're a scammer, because obviously scammers come in and spend 2.5 hours handing over every bit of personal information you have. So again, it's just an annoyance that you just have to plow through it. This whole process takes months. You can probably expect start to finish for it to take 2.5 months. And then once you have a business bank account, if you want to do something like get a distributor account, say with Alliance Games or BCW or Ultra Pro, I think lets you have direct business accounts, Uline, these other types of companies that, will have products that you need for your business, for shipping things, for whatever. Then you go to them because a lot of times they'll want to know who is your business bank, just to kind of try to establish that you're a real person, you're not doing something off. And so, and again, like I have a distributor account with Alliance. It's not a big deal. You fill out their big package of paperwork. They'll ask for a reference. I put a childhood friend of mine who runs a business in Florida. It's really not a big deal. They'll rubber stamp your account, and then you can buy some of their products depending on whether or not you have a brick and mortar store. And it's not a big deal to get those set up. So again, don't feel a bunch of anxiety like you're going to get denied the whole way through. Now, what do you have to do to maintain all of this? Once you have all this set up, what can you do? You can buy stuff from eBay and TCG Player and those kind of places tax-free. Okay, that's great. And again, when you sell on those kind of marketplaces, they collect and remit sales taxes for you. But you're still going to have to do quarterly taxes with the state. And what that means is every quarter, the state comptroller will send you a form. And in Texas, at least, it has a special number. You can go on their website and you can type it in, and that takes you to your online version of the form. And you can just fill out what were my total sales, what were my taxable sales, what were my taxable sales that I need to remit sales tax on. Because sometimes you'll have taxable sales, say you sell something on eBay, but eBay has collected those taxes and already given them to the state. And so you don't need to pay taxes on them again. And then if you had to pay taxes on something that you shouldn't have because it was an item for resale, but you didn't have a sales and use tax certificate on file with the dealer, then you can get a sales tax refund. And so you have to fill that out every quarter. It literally, for me, where right now I'm still building inventory, letting it appreciate. I don't do a lot of sales. I do a little bit of selling on eBay only. And so right now I literally spend about 6 minutes every 3 months filling out that form, sticking a stamp on it, and mailing it back into the state comptroller. So you have to do that every quarter. And the last thing that's kind of annoying is apparently like databases of new companies are available for everyone to see from your state government. And so you'll start getting a bunch of scammy letters in the mail that tell you things like, oh, to abide by federal worker regulations or something, you have to display all these like minimum wage posters and employee compensation posters in your workplace for your employees, or there will be $1 trillion billion fine. And for only $160, we'll send you compliant posters. So you can just rip all those and throw them away. I mean, they're just like when you refinance your house, you'll get a bunch of like homeowners insurance solicitations and home warranty solicitations and junk like that. Just throw it away. But again, it puts you on this mailing list so that you start getting hit with that. But so it sounds like this whole terrible ordeal. It will take you a couple months to do. It will cost you in total, $300 or so. It costs you a lot of time. But the reality is when you get done, you don't pay sales taxes on the products you buy anymore that are for resale. Now, if you're going to buy something off TCG Player for personal use, personal consumption, and you don't plan to sell it, you need to pay sales tax on it. And so, that $300, if, you save 8% on everything, then, you're going to make it back in not too long, maybe the first year, first 2 years, something like that. And again, it can really help you when you go to do things like want to expand your business. You've already got all this paperwork out of the way. You've got the tax permit. You've got relationships with companies. You've got dealer accounts. And so, if you suddenly decide, hey, I don't dig this anymore and I want to sell off all these cards, you've already got everything set up. And so it's really nice. And, it's your gateway into a stupid business that you can run in your spare time. And I guess once a year you'll have to do an extra, I think it's Schedule C. I can't remember exactly what the one is for businesses on your federal tax forms, but it's an extra form. And beyond that, you're going to save a lot of money on everything you buy for your business. So go ahead and do it. Get started. Yes, it takes a while. It's a little bit of effort. Get started. Make your dumb business a little more real. But that's my advice. Go do it. If you like this kind of thing, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Join me on Final Trade. Thanks a lot.